Hello everyone. So today I was looking at this question on the community about using a smart value for list of issues. Now the question is all about how to access the very first issue that is returned by a branch rule when you run, let us say, a JQL query. Now let me take a look at the question, and I'll then show you how to achieve it. Now if you look at the question is from Bodavo, and Bodavo is trying to understand when issue transitioned link to latest created issue from another project. Okay, so basically what he's saying, he, I guess, is, or she, it could be she by the way, is that when you have a rule in which you are running, let us say, a JQL, for example, project is equal to something and blah blah blah, it will of course return a list of issues. And what the rule is trying to do here is to link the issue to another issue from where it is probably triggered, which is fine. Now the requirement is to only link it to the very first issue returned by the JQL. So the objective here is to do something with the very first issue, not really all the issues, because the JQL can return. I mean, the return is definitely a list, but you can have more than one issues in your JQL search. Now it is of course very simple to achieve this, but I'll probably show you. So I do have a rule here, and if I show you my rule, I am, let us say, running a JQL query called status is equal to on hold. Now this particular rule is triggered when I transition the issue to on hold status. And what I want to do is, of course, I don't really want to do anything complicated. I just want to add, let us say, a comment on the issue, or maybe print something in the log. Now the trick here is to use a smart value called lookupIssues. Now lookupIssues is going to return nothing but a list of issues, but those issues within the list will have all the issue properties, like it could be the key or whatever I think you want to access. I mean, usually you have different things that you can access using a smart value, like different fields. It could be a custom field, by the way. And if you do something like this, lookupIssue.first.key, you should be able to retrieve the very first issue returned in the JQL. Of course, you have to make sure that the JQL is maybe using order by or something, which will ensure that the first issue is the one that you really want to modify. If you run this query, it will, you can validate it. It will show you here that you have 3 issues found, and we want to work on the first one. Now, what we'll do, we'll go to one of the issue, and we will simply to of course trigger this rule. We will try to transition the issue to on hold, and if I do this, of course it will do something in the rule, hopefully, and I can maybe go back to the audit log. I can then see here that okay, this has already done something, and if I open this, I can see here that it says 3 issues found, which is great, but the first issue is AN-231. Now when you have this issue, you can of course do something with it, like maybe you can declare a variable where you can store this value in your branch rule and use it later on. But when you're using variables within branch rule, make sure you declare them somewhere above on top with a null value, so that it's like declaring those variables on top so that their scope is global. Or basically, if you declare a variable within a branch, it will be you can only access the variable values within the branch, so it's like a local variable. But if you declare it on top, I mean, declaring it is nothing but something like assigning it to a null value. Let us do it. Because we are doing it right now, so why not do it? So I'll add a new component called variable, and I will let us say name this as issue key. No, maybe something like first issue key. and you can assign it something like null, because we want to use it later on. This is like a trick, not a trick, but I think it is documented somewhere. Now when you're within this rule, or I should say branch, what you can do is you can actually say here, like maybe I'll just copy this smart value and cancel it, and I'll go to this new action again and declare the same variable again, but this time the smart value can have the lookupIssues.first.key, and the variable could be, it should be the same variable basically. So first issue key, and save it. And when you are, I mean, you can actually then later on, I mean, it could be, so right now it is basically using like lookup issues, and it will contain the issues. But at the very end, if you want to access the variable, you should be able to access it if you maybe just log it if you want. So log action and issue key from variable, and what is the variable name? First issue key, and hopefully it should work. I'll save it, and right now I think this looks good. Okay, let us run it. Let us maybe I'll just transition the issue one more time to on hold. So I'll move it to do, and I'll do on hold again, and let us take a look at the rule. Hopefully it will work, and it is a success. Good to know. Now the first log is of course showing us the value, and then of course we are adding a comment, but finally we are also logging this again using the variable name. So use a variable name to make things simple and easy in case you have a complicated rule. And I think that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I basically wanted to show you how you can achieve these things if you are working with, let us say, list of issues. And this concept will work for any list. I mean, whenever you're returning something, whenever you're working with or dealing with any list, you can actually access something like you can access the first item using .first. And that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.